Airsoft, a sport where almost everyone with military interests can join. But can you see the problem with the following scenes? People getting shot at or using or during airsoft can cause fatal damage and therefore making them vulnerable to injuries. One of the solutions to this problem is using Kevlar. Kevlar is a fabric that can be made into various types of wearables including clothing, jackets, vests, and helmets. Kevlar is used to make bulletproof armor used in airsoft and can also be used in real military applications. Kevlar is essentially a bulletproof and flexible fiber that can be woven to form bulletproof vests and helmets used to protect the wearer from any shock-inducing damage, in this case from airsoft pellets. So what is Kevlar? Well, Kevlar is a synthetic material made out of polymer, a chain of monomers bonded together. The scientific name of Kevlar is polyparaphenylene terephthalamide. Each monomer of Kevlar contains 10 hydrogen atoms, 14 carbon atoms, 2 oxygen atoms, and 2 nitrogen atoms. Furthermore, Kevlar fiber is an array of molecules structured parallel of one another, forming a crystalline structure. So how is Kevlar made? Kevlar is formed through a chemical reaction called condensation reaction where two substances fuses into one. In this case, a reaction between the substances paraphenylene diamine and terephthalyl chloride. Through the process of covalent bonding between the elements present in these two substances, it will then result in the substance polyparaphenylene terephthalamide, or as we know it as Kevlar. This substance achieved will be a polymer, which will form a crystalline structure bonded by its hydrogen bonds. Kevlar is then processed through a process called spinning, where the Kevlar is spun and woven into fibers that can be used for practical applications such as airsoft armor. So, what is so good about Kevlar? Used for bulletproof vests, Kevlar is really strong and an excellent anti-ballistic material because it takes a great deal of energy to make a weapon or bullet pass through it. But how does Kevlar do this? Well, Kevlar is made of tightly woven fibers of highly oriented polymer molecules that are extremely hard to move apart and takes a considerable amount of energy to separate them. A bullet, for example, has its energy significantly absorbed into the fabric and dispersed effectively outwards from the point of impact as it tries to go through, making it effective for bulletproof vests. Kevlar is also extremely lightweight for its strength, weighing 5 to 6 times less than steel, and while almost being 8 times stronger than steel, it is due to the fact that Kevlar is 5.5 times less dense than steel, only having a density of 1.44 grams per cubic centimeter compared to the 8 grams per cubic centimeter of steel. This is what makes Kevlar light and flexible enough to wear comfortably for much longer periods than, say, steel armor, and the reason why it is used for day-to-day bulletproof airsoft armor. However, Kevlar also has its limitations. First of all, Kevlar has poor compressive strength, meaning it cannot withstand intense squeezing of the material. Its compressive strength is only 1/10 of its extremely high tensile strength, and this is due to the matrix material used in the manufacturing process of Kevlar. The most popular matrix material for manufacturing Kevlar being epoxies, vinyl ester, and phenolics, which all can easily fracture under high compression. This is the reason why we don't see Kevlar used as construction material for buildings and bridges and other structures that rely on mostly compressive strength. Another limitation of Kevlar is not from what it is, but from the process that is used to produce it. Kevlar is, and generally speaking, very expensive, and not what the average consumer can afford. The process of making Kevlar is costly, as it requires a series of complex steps and uses some chemicals that are difficult to acquire. One example why Kevlar production is expensive is because of the difficulties arising from using concentrated sulfuric acid, needed to keep the water-insoluble polymer in solution during its synthesis and spinning processes, all required to make Kevlar. Finally, after going through what the problem is, what Kevlar is, and its benefits and limitations, it is time to tackle the issue Kevlar has on our society. Kevlar has posed some ethical issues since it's first invented in 1965 by Stephanie Kwolek, who worked as a chemist at the DuPont company. The ethical concern is whether manufacturing of a product used to aid in warfare is ethical. Even though Kevlar is used to protect people from harm, people are likely to associate anything related to war to be ethically questionable. It is very important to distinguish between the two main types of items produced for war: those that aid in the destruction of people and property, and those that protect people and their property. While some may believe one over the other, the fact is that there will always be people that are against the use of the material, and that the ethical issue will continue to persist as long as Kevlar is being used for warfare. So, to conclude the matter, Kevlar armor is essentially one of the best solutions there is to protecting yourself when you are playing Airsoft recreationally or as a sport. So go ahead and purchase some Kevlar armor so that you won't have to get hurt again. And as they say, when in doubt, wear a full suit of Kevlar armor.